People's reaction to you being a gamer. Okay, so I said that I enjoyed playing games as a kid. All throughout high school, I was in the gaming closet. Now, I am a weird person. I'm a weird child. In second grade, I told all of my friends I was from Mars, and I kept that going all throughout second grade. And, I was a strange kid. I was a very strange kid. And I got made fun of a lot. For being weird, for just, in fifth and sixth grade, I went through a heavy metal phase, and I still like heavy metal, every once in a while, but, I, wore a lot of black, and, wore boy jeans and ties, and, people are just like, that kid is just really strange. So I got made fun of a lot, and seventh grade and eighth grade is the seventh grade is like the most horrendous time of your life. It's just horrible. You get made fun of and bullied so much. Especially, I'm sure all of you understand, because we're all nerds here. The world always hates people that look at the world differently than the norm. What is normal? I think people that say that they're normal are just lying. They're just lying to themselves. So, in high school, I was like, you know what? I'm going to, learn how to do makeup, learn how to do my hair, spend time shopping and reading Twilight and being the kind of person that people enjoy. I'm going to become an extrovert. I pretended to be an extrovert in person, which was a complete lie. I'm such an introvert. I'm so quiet. I'm not shy by any means, but I'm not the crazy person at the party like I used to be in high school. And when college came around, and I realized, I did an internship for a year right after college, so that's why, I'm kind of older and still in college, but, after I left that internship and realized that, I was pretending to be something I was not throughout most of high school, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to be my nerdy self. It's college. People are more accepting. You could be into animals, and I think most people at my college would be like, okay, cool. We'll have a parade for that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to offend anyone, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? My college is very liberal and accepting, and, I'm a pretty accepting person too. So, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be myself. And I lost a lot of my friends. And I think a lot of those friends weren't really friends, but I lost a lot of my friends the last 3 years just because I wanted to stop being something that the world was telling me to be, that I thought would make me a lot of friends, and started to be myself. And normally, it doesn't take long for you to find out that I'm a nerd. You'll find out within 10 minutes of a conversation with me. You really will. It's not a secret, and no part of me is a secret. I'm pretty open about most things. And, like I said, I've lost a lot of friends because they couldn't accept, my choice and of the way I spend my free time, of all things. It's just so stupid. But yeah, most of my guy friends are really cool about it, but it's my girlfriends that are really I had one friend say, you need to spend less time playing games, you're wasting time, let's go shopping together. And I'm like, girl, you spend most of your time watching reality television, I know you do. How is that any more meaningful to do that? And okay, you want me to stop playing games and start shopping? How is that any less shallow, So yeah, I can't stand being shallow and fake. I know people might think I am, I still wear makeup, I still like being girly sometimes, but I'm still, now I accepted my tomboy, weirdo, nerd side as well. I think of fashion now as a way of personally expressing myself, and a way to when I take time getting ready in the morning, I feel more serious, I guess. When you put on a suit, you just feel okay, I'm serious today. Like I feel like a serious person. And that's why, like, when I spend time getting ready in the morning, I'm just like, okay, now. And plus, it's just fun, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe I still come off as, like, someone who is, you know, over girly and, like, stupid things, but, you know, whatever. I don't. So, I've even gotten criticism from the gamer side because they're like, well, you don't seem like the typical tomboyish gamer. You know, you wear makeup and you obviously, you know, spend time on what you wear and stuff. And it's like, whatever, I can't please everyone. What made you decide to keep posting? Glad you did. Honestly, I just really enjoyed it. I feel like, you know, like I said, I was in the gamer closet all throughout high school, and I feel like it's just a way to be myself and to be honest about who I am and connect with people who enjoy what I am, because, like, what I do, like, enjoy the same things that I do. What are your favorite types of books? I really like philosophical books. My favorite author, let me pull some stuff from my bookshelf. My favorite authors are C.S. Lewis and J.K. Chesterton. They're very hard to digest, very philosophical writers, and I'm talking about C.S. Lewis, his more philosophical stuff than his Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. If you've ever read his, like, sci-fi stuff or anything else that he's written, it is pretty deep. He is a very intelligent man. I also, Chesterton, like, Lewis and Chesterton and Tolkien were all, like, buddies. I could just picture them just hanging out at Oxford. That would be my dream someday, to just, like, sit in Oxford and just absorb their just greatness. I just hope that, like, their greatness is just, like, still in the walls there. I don't know, but I'm being ridiculous, but, like, they're just so intelligent, and I feel like my vocabulary is enhanced every time I read these authors. One of my favorite novels of all time is The Man Who Was Thursday by J.K. Chesterton. Just a great novel. Also, Kate Chopin's The Awakening. It's I guess you could say a feminist novel, but I don't like the stigma that feminists kind of have these days. It's more like a coming of age story, and her limits as a woman in 18th century society is, like, definitely a part of it. Or maybe it's 19th century or 20th century. Anyways, but, like, that definitely a part of the main character's struggle. But I think anyone who is trying to find themselves, that's a great book to read. At the time that I was reading, I was 18 years old, and, you know, just trying to figure out who I was and all that great, you know, crazy young adult stuff that I'm pretty sure I'm still going through. But it's a great novel about finding out who you are as an artist and finding out who you are as a person. And oh my gosh, every time I read that novel, I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm going through my own awakening. How would you characterize your sense of humor? Stupid. I like stupid humor. If you look up The Flying Lawnmower or Lawnmower Dreams, I love stuff like that. Like, stupid stuff that makes no sense at all. I just love, Hot Rod humor. Have you ever seen Hot Rod? It's just stupid humor. Like that moment in Hot Rod where they just, like, the two brothers stare at each other and they just say cool beans for, like, 5 minutes. Like, I love that type of humor. I'm also very sarcastic in real life with my friends, but sarcasm only works if it's with, like, your close friends. If it's with people you don't know, it doesn't really work, because then they think you're being rude. But I tell a lot of sandwich jokes and a lot of, like, offensive woman jokes, but it makes sense when I'm with my friends. But, like, when I try to tell them to people I don't know, like, people are like, what's wrong with you? You're so awful. Like, especially because you are a woman. Like, but it's all inside jokes and stuff. I tried, like, on my DSX video, I told, like, a woman joke at the beginning. And I feel like, I think that video has, like, the most dislikes. mostly because the audio is bad, but also I think because people just don't pick up on my sarcasm. Like, they think I'm being, like, an angry feminist or something, which is not. I'm not an angry feminist. I believe in humans' rights, men and women rights. What is your favorite childhood cartoon? And you better say Pokemon. Of course I loved Pokemon. Who didn't love Pokemon as a kid? I also loved Batman the Animated Series, and there was this X-Men series, I'm not sure what it was, but it was this series with, like, all the X-Men were in high school or something, so I'm not sure. I probably should adjust my mic. I'm not sure what that was called. Do you have a favorite superhero from DC or Marvel? I really love Batman, if you haven't noticed. I also was really into Spider-Man when I was a kid. I used to read the Spider-Man comics every morning in the paper. I'm reading the Astonishing X-Men right now, and I really love Colossus and Shadowcat. And I don't know if Yorick counts as a superhero, but I think he does, and I think he's a superhero. He's my favorite superhero. What are your top 5 favorite shows? The Walking Dead. I'm a Walking Dead fan, obviously. I have only read up to volume 8 in the comics, but I'm waiting till the next compendium comes out so I can just buy that and save more money. But I love The Walking Dead comic book. I love the game, which I hope to review as soon as the last chapter comes out. And The Walking Dead just has some amazing writing. Also, Parks and Recreation, really funny show. Mad Men, I love that it's not plotty and it has great writing. Futurama is a funny show. Farscape was one of my favorite shows as a kid. And Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for season 3. Season 2 was just awesome, and I love Game of Thrones. Okay, what's your top 5 favorite bands or artists? This isn't going to be a top 5. This is going to be like a top... I don't know. Not a top 5. But I have such an eclectic group of favorite musicians because I like so many different types of music that I had to kind of group it up into my favorite type of each genre. Now, I love soundtracks, and Hans Zimmer is my favorite soundtrack artist. My favorite type of music is electronic and trance music. So Bloody Beetroots, Deadmau5 are 2 of my favorite electronic artists, but I also really like trance, like Daniel Kandi and Artie. I'm really into trance music. It really inspires me. I like Soilwork. They're a death metal band, just awesome, talented band. Roy Brown is my favorite old school artist. Also, who else? Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. I love that type of music. Muck is my favorite Japanese band. I love Japanese music. I also love 21, if you haven't noticed the poster right there. I'm really into K-pop. It's catchy and it's fun. I like it. My favorite alternative musicians are Empire of the Sun and MGMT. And I'm not a big fan of dubstep, but I really like Bare Noise because they're kind of like he's kind of a mix between heavy metal and dubstep, and it's just a really interesting sound. Okay, now to Mass Effect questions, which I got quite a few of these. Would you like BioWare to continue to make games in the Mass Effect universe? If so, story-wise, which direction would you like them to go? I do want more Mass Effect games, because I think they can do a good job, and they've showed us through, like, the Extended Cut and Leviathan that they can do a good job, at least in my opinion. Leviathan was a great DLC. I think they definitely could continue good writing as long as... I think they're more cautious now. They know what will happen if they get lazy, is what I mean. So, and I definitely think EA is not going to abandon putting money into a franchise that they can continue to milk. So hopefully BioWare will try to work with it and try to write as well as they can with whatever EA throws at them. But I definitely think they're going to have a 4th game, because I think that is why all the plot holes were there in the 3rd. Like, I actually showed all of my friends know I like Mass Effect, even my friends that don't play games. And one of my close friends, she loves to watch me play Mass Effect. A lot of my friends are like, at first like, oh, that's kind of lame, but then they watch me play and they're like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, I love the characters and I love listening to the dialogue. And some of them tried to play. They're like, oh, I wish I could play, but I can't play games. So they just watch me. Like, one of my friends that watches me play Mass Effect, she's like, so how did the extended cut go? And I showed it to her, and she said, I can see what she said. This is quoting her. She said, I can see why all the fans would be mad, because it's obvious that they left these endings so open because they wanted to make more money. Like, they just wanted to make another game. And that's why they left all these open, like, these holes in it. And I couldn't agree more. Like, that's why they did it. Now that they have the extended cut, that's going to be more difficult to do with the synthesis. A synthesis, like, all of the endings are so different that it's going to be very difficult for them to continue. And they should not pick a canon ending, because that's going to piss a lot of people off. And they shouldn't make it so that it's like, oh, there's a few people synthesized, or, like, they find these loopholes that they did throughout the first two games, like the Human Reaper in the third game. It's like, the Human Reaper's still there even if you blew it up, kind of thing. And if they do that in the fourth game, that'll just be horrible. And they can't do a prequel because there's not going to be anything more interesting, unless, it's because, what's more interesting before human spaceflight, What I think they should do, this is my recommendation, and I've been saying this for a while, not on this channel, but on the BioWare forums, is that they need to go the BioShock route. Do what BioShock's doing with Columbia. Do that with Mass Effect. Create a game that has the same feel as Mass Effect, but is different, but is either in a different corner of the galaxy with a whole different species and everything, because the Milky Way is done. It's done. They can't, like, the endings are so different, they can't continue that. What I think they should do, have a species on the other end of the galaxy dealing with the same problem, dealing with not the same problem, but a problem with synthetics and organics. A problem with a synthetic, well, what I mean by that is a synthetic enemy somehow connected to the Reapers that is a huge problem. But in this series, make it into 3 games, but in the series in a way that you defeat the species by conditional means, and not with some Deus Ex Machina that appears in the 3rd game. So I want them to have a story in mind throughout the whole 3 games that they work through on during all 3 games, because now they know how, they know what it's like to create these 3 games. Like, I feel like it was kind of an experiment, but now they know. So have it in a different universe. Have the plot somehow connected to a Reapers. Maybe a species that's more the Reapers feared. Like the whole beings of light theory. If you haven't, I mean, that's one way to go about it. Like the species that the Reapers were creating more Reapers to defeat. Like there was an enemy that the Reapers feared and were trying to defeat, or something like that. I don't know about that now, but anyways, like that's just, something, make it bigger, but make it in a different corner of the galaxy, because the Milky Way is done. And I think they could do that. Create new species, create interesting species, create a species that's very much like humans, and explain it through evolution the way that they did it with the first 3 games. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Go the BioShock route, have it in a different location with the same feel of Mass Effect, but don't try to pick a canon ending. Don't try to fit it in somehow like the Human Reaper. That's my opinion. Who is your favorite Mass Effect character in this whole series? My answer would be all of the characters except for Miranda and Jacob, because I don't really like them that much. No, don't hate them, but I'm not crazy about them. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Thane Krios. And it's surprising because I haven't talked about him much. I actually romanced him the first time I played Mass Effect 2. But once I realized he was, I started my Mass Effect 3 playthrough, the first playthrough, with my Kaidan romance that I saved, that I was loyal to Kaidan, because I figured, that might make things complicated, and I figured he was going to die at the very beginning, and he did. I hated how they handle that at the, his death scene. I don't cry during many things, and that may seem surprising because I cried during watching the extended cut. I don't cry reading books, watching movies, but every time I watch Thane Krios' death scene, I cry my eyes out because I have never cared that much about a fictional character before. Like, he is just so diverse, and I'm going to probably do a character discussion about him because he's such a great character. It's so well written. He's not a stark character. You know, he's not like the typical assassin. Everything about him is atypical, and that's what I like about Thane Krios. Are you open to making crossover videos with other people who review games? Not right now, just because I'd probably have a hard time saying no to anyone, so I'd be making them all the time, you know? So, not right now, because I just have so much stuff going on. So, the answer is no, unfortunately. If you could be the CEO of any company, which would you be and why? I'd be the CEO of EA and make them less of douchebags, because EA is poopy. Well, just put it that way. Important question. Do you read like the Hunger Games? I have not finished it. I have a bad habit, and this is like a habit that a lot of English majors actually have, where I'll read like 50 books at once, and I'll forget about the books that I'm reading. So that happened with the Hunger Games. So I haven't finished that yet, unfortunately. But I saw the first movie. If you could resurrect any dead president of the United States and punch him for any mistake he made, who would it be? I don't like punching people. I'm not a violent person. But if I had to punch one president, he's not dead, but if I had to punch one president, I'd probably punch George Bush just to say that I did, because, you know, everyone would be impressed. Okay, he's not a popular president. If you haven't noticed, he's actually, like, less popular than Nixon, and Nixon did some pretty bad things. Okay, when it comes to games, yeah. So a bunch of people ask me about specific games, and I'm going to remind you that I'm so broke that when it comes to buying new games, it's literally a matter of, am I willing to live on ramen for several weeks or a week, depending on whether or not I buy collector's edition or something. So, you know, I hope that you're not offended by the fact that I either haven't played these games or I'm not going to play them as soon as they come out. Okay. Do you like Mario? Not really. You know, when I was a kid, it's just not something it's a good game, and, you know, I think it's awesome that they're still making great games, but I'm just not a Mario fan. Sonic, not really. No, I've never been into Sonic, really. Not that it's bad. Well, I don't know. You can look up Mega 64's video on Sonic. I think that kind of explains Sonic in a nutshell. Okay, will you be getting Resident Evil 6? Eventually, but I'm not willing to starve over it, you know? Yeah, I played Resident Evil 2, and I think I want to play through the whole series and then play 6, but I'm probably not going to buy it when it first comes out. Injustice Gods Among Us. I'll probably play like a friend's copy or play with a friend, but I'm not going to buy it. Okay, do you play with other people? I don't give out my gamer tag, sorry. Do you play Mortal Kombat? Yes, but I don't have a copy, so, sorry. Sorry that I'm so boring, but yeah. Do you think they should make a Mass Effect movie? If so, who should play it? Well, they announced they're going to make a Mass Effect movie, but I have a feeling they probably dropped it because of the controversy, or these movies just get dropped. Like, there was going to be a BioShock movie, but they dropped that. So, I don't know. But if they do make it, they have announced that they're going to have a male Shepard. So, I'm really bad at picking people that look like certain characters. I'm not good at this. So, I ended up just picking people that I thought were hot. So, you know, and I didn't pick everyone because, you know, it's just hard to find people for some of these roles. So, sorry if these are really bad. For Shepard, I would cast Matthew Fox or Sam Worthington. Matthew Fox is from Lost, but Sam Worthington, he has that Marine look about him, and he's just really good looking, so I don't think the female fans will be too upset that there's not going to be a female Shepard, if you know what I mean. Okay, Miranda, Yvonne Stravinsky, I think that's how you say her name. You can't have anyone else play Miranda. Like, it's her face and her voice, you know? Joker, Seth Green. Even though they're not gonna have Seth Green, I don't know who they're gonna put, but I can't picture anyone else being the Joker. Caden, I don't know anyone that looks like Caden, so I'm just gonna say Ian Somerhalder because he's hot. I've heard a lot of people say that it should be Eric Bana. I think Eric Bana's a little too old for the role. Like, yeah, it has to be someone that the ladies will be like, yeah. Like, not that I'm saying Eric Bana isn't hot, but like, Ian, like, he doesn't look like Kanan at all, but at least he's nice to look at. Okay. Edie, Trisha Heifer. I don't know who else. I'm not good at this. Okay, Ashley, Alice Braga, or Rosiara Dawson. I'm probably pronouncing all these names wrong. Tally, Mila Kunis, because she's cute, and, you know, I'm sure maybe she'll get the accent down. I don't know. She has like an exotic look about her. For Liara, okay, I've seen many suggestions for this, but I've never seen anyone suggest this. I think Liara should be played by Amelia Clark, who is Daenerys in Game of Thrones. It would make so much sense. Like, I think she could do it. She's a great actress. She could get the kookiness down of Liara, and plus she's just really cute. She has that cute face that Liara has, and, you know, I'm totally straight, but she could totally kidnap me at any time, if you know what I mean. Okay, like I said, I'm just picking who I think is hot. Oh, and Emma Stone, just because she's hot. Jack. Rooney Mara, the girl who's in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She would make the perfect Jack. Don't know if she'd do it because her character is a lot like Elizabeth Statlander in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but she's just perfect for Jack. Yeah, and I don't really know what to say about everything else. Like, I'm not good at this, but those are my suggestions. So I know I missed a lot of characters, but yeah, those are my casting ideas for Mass Effect the movie. These next ones are going to be really quick. Who are your favorite YouTubers? Jenna Marble, Sohop KC, Eat My Diction, Meg Smith, in other words, I think she's called KY Princess or something, Artengia, if that's how you pronounce it, GamerMD, 83, and Robots. Or Robots King of Sweden. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. How tall are you? 5'6" feet or 1.69 meters. I think that's how you measure it. What are 10 of your favorite movies? New World, the Batman movies, Phantom of the Opera, Terminator 2, Hero, Zoolander, Crybaby, Hot Rod, and Rebel Without a Cause. If you had an opportunity to move out and live somewhere else, where would you want to live? Japan. I really want to go to Japan because they have great games and they're just really weird, and I hear everyone there is really nice. I also want to go to all over Europe and Scotland and Ireland and Korea. I just want to go all over. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching and submitting your questions. I enjoyed reading through them all and answering them, even though this is very, very lengthy, and I'm sorry about that. But if you watch this whole thing, you deserve an achievement. You get an achievement right here. I wish I could put a little Xbox achievement right here, or PlayStation trophy, or whatever the heck you play. But you win because you watch the whole thing. And thanks guys for watching. Keep it classy, and as always, I should go.